Through the Share Your Story project, I'm lucky enough to be able to connect with and relate to a variety of different people that I would otherwise not get the chance to connect with. And my latest story, the one that I've got up now, is called Judgment and Acceptance. And in this story, two people have written in sharing their story of how they fell off a building and acquired brain damage. Now, it happened in separate events and they've both got different experiences, but a similar sort of injury and event happening. The first story is called Judgement, and when you read through this story, you get a real... It's quite saddening actually, because you really see that the author is struggling with people's judgment. People keep, applying their judgment upon him because of the things he can and can't do now that he has an acquired brain injury. And the struggle is real. He's struggling to find employment and find acceptance because people, when he comes out and says, hey, the reason I'm acting like this, or the reason I can't do this work or this part of the job is because I've got a brain injury. He's been fired multiple times. And, and these judgments are just compounded because as his money started to dwindle, he's less and less able to afford, the clothes and other things to update and keep himself looking presentable so that he can get further work. So as you read through it, it paints this picture of, well, not only a life-threatening injury. He actually, died and then was, resuscitated and brought back to life. But it also suggests that that's not necessarily the only thing or the only struggle that people that suffer from an injury like this face. It's the judgment. It's things happening after the fact. So it's got a unique style, and I want you to check it out because it'll really help you to sort of get yourself into the shoes of someone that's had an acquired brain injury. So check it out. And the second story in the same post is called Acceptance. And this post is talking about learning to accept yourself and the limitations and the changes in your life following a brain injury. And the message is similar to something that I really want to project with all forms of mental illness, from my perspective, mental illness, but from, any perspective of life change. When something happens, you have to accept it. If you can't go back, if it can't be changed, there's no real other option other than to accept where you are and make a concerted effort to move on and keep going and fight from where you are. And this piece really demonstrates that. The author discusses how she went from a comatose state for 3 months to learning to eat and just sort of, coming back from a very traumatic brain injury in which at her worst she wasn't able to even know who she was or who her family was, to fighting back and becoming an advocate for, acquired brain injury and that sort of stuff. The key here is acceptance. And I can't stress that enough, that if something happens, it could be a mental illness, it could be a physical illness, as these stories will talk about. It could be a death in the family or some sort of event that you can't control. You have to just accept it. And then from that new place, whatever it is, yes, it sucks. Yes, you wouldn't choose to be there, but you are. And as soon as you accept it, then you can start to move from that position of acceptance. So check out these stories. Let me know what you think. And, if you have a story that you want to submit yourself, if you've got a story that you would like to share, please do so, because what I want to do with this Share Your Story project is basically provide a platform for people to share and then read about other people's life experiences. We only ever get to live our own life, but the more that we read and experience the lives of other people, the more we can, start to see the world for what it truly is. We get to see the human experience from a more detached and a step back lens. And, as the theme of these posts go, it helps you to not judge, because you don't know what's going on behind the person. If you see someone and make a quick snap judgment of them, you have no idea what's happened to them. Maybe they've got acquired brain injury from falling off a building. You don't know. So if you have a story that you'd like to share, it can be about any sort of topic you like. Mental health, physical health, some sort of interesting occurrences at work, something to do with your professional hobby that puts you in a unique situations. Let me know. Make contact. head over to my website at zachary-phillips.com/share your story. And from there you can check out the stories that are up. I think there's about 15 to 20 up at the moment. And if you're interested, have a look through the links and connect with me and share yours. Thanks.